Consider this your trigger warning. The following program is strictly satire and is not meant to be taken seriously. So don't get all butthurt, you liberal snowflakes, just because we skewer your sacred cows and expose all your lies and hypocrisy. Truth hurts, and so does satire. So grab a drink, pull up a chair, and enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the zoo on the Prepared Mind channel. I went in and I dusted the John on John the Prepared Mind. So once again, we are now the Prepared Mind. Welcome back. And I missed the Friday free-for-all. I got cooked. It worked a little bit. But I'm all cured. I'm all caught up. I'm all recovered and ready to roll. This is the zoo, which means it's your show. You guys pick the topics, what to talk about, what to discuss, what's important, whatever. You can talk about the past, you can talk about the future, you can talk about current events, which is where we do spend the majority of our time. But we can look to the past for clues. And we know what's being predicted for the future and where are we now. There is so much going on, folks. It is mind-boggling. But still, so Sunday Night Live, your show, super chat button right up there, or CashApp, Venmo, PayPal down below, and we will get you on the screen. Read your questions live. There it is. Bam. Thank you, Jolene, the Prepared Mother. We also have Uman as the moderator-in-chief. That's right, folks. It is the big show, Sunday Night Live. We do 2 hours. So let's get into it. Your super chats right up there gets you on here. We're going to start, though, with Chin Music, who did a $52.23 Venmo super app. And he says, hey, oh, wait, $50 or more gets me a 15-year single malt Scotch whiskey. We got to start the show off right, don't we? Anyways, Chin, thank you, sir, very, very much for the great donation. You can just smell the wine barrel that they cured this in. Aged, not cured, shit. Cured, aged. Oh, yes, indeed. So, Chin says, I was doing some thinking. Bad idea. Yesterday, and it occurred to me that I get more irritated with the government when our guys are in charge. What he's saying is when the Republicans, the supposed conservatives, the supposed constitutionalists, the supposed real Americans, the supposed patriots, when they're in charge, we get more irritated. And he says, and the reason is they don't do anything of note. I agree 100%. I expect the demtards to F me over. At least they have the decency to stab me in the front. Our guys suffer from many things, but most notably, fecklessness and cowardice. Really makes you wonder if the struggle is worth it at times. Still waiting, says Chin Music. Yeah, we're waiting. For what? The first arrest is going to blow you away. Still waiting for that first arrest. The first arrest is gonna shock the world. Yeah, dang right it will, because we haven't seen one yet in over 6 months. I'm telling you. It is really demoralizing. It's disappointing. It's disheartening. What the Republicans are doing. Nothing. And in fact, both the House and the Senate are doing all they can to stonewall Trump. And it's not like Trump has been a stalwart. I'm going to arrest everybody. He keeps saying we need to arrest that person. Nothing happens. We need to arrest that person. Nothing happens. We need to prosecute that person. Nothing happens. Nothing is happening. Yeah. He did a trade deal with Europe. Great. Nice work, amigo. Secretary of State could handle that. No problem. We didn't need the president on that. You just stand back and go, look, if you don't give me what I want, we're going to do this to you. That's it. It's not hard to do, right? He's established that that's how he does business. Out of the way. How about arresting some world-class fraudsters, criminals, and child predators? This is where Chin Music says, really makes you wonder if the struggle is worth it at times. You know, the struggle for freedom, for liberty, for America, for goodness, for our kids, for fuck's sake, that is worth it. But struggling to try and get the Republicans to do something is literally like working with someone who's gone full retard and they won't stop. You slap them, knock this stupid game off, and they just come back with more retard. They don't stop. It's unbelievable. Both the Senate and the Congress, House of Representatives, they're both Congress. They are doing everything they can to keep Trump from getting recess appointments. At the same time, they refuse to be in Congress and take up congressional business as they take over a month in vacation at full pay. While the country is in shambles, not just economically and monetarily, but psychologically, this country is moving through time and space with a handicapped soul. To me, it is criminal what's being done. And I don't mean that in any usual sense. I mean in a very nasty sense. They are stripping the soul out of America. And I'm talking about the Republican Party and the Democrat Party. And it's being done on purpose. I truly believe, and I was thinking about this earlier, and I've been wanting to do it. They're moving to a depopulation event. Some might call this a conspiracy theory. I say, look up the Georgia Guidestone's promise or goal. Go to deagle.com and look up depopulation. I think this has happened time and time and time again. And this is the subject title. I didn't expect to walk into this room, but fuck, we're in this room now. It's called Breakaway Civilization. It has to do with technology, power, resources, and it has to do with the true nature of the universe, the facts, the reality. Facts and reality. They hide the facts. They give us a false reality. They use us, the regular people, to create a world of technology, the power that they need to leave, to break away. But what do they do when they leave? They exterminate humanity here on Earth and shove us back in time again. Enough on that, though. Let's move ahead. I've got Darcy T stepping in with a $50 super chat donation through PayPal. And thank you again, Darcy T, for always being here and taking good care of the show, keeping the lights on, keeping the shelves stocked, well, with tuna fish, Spam, and of course, high quality scotch. Folks, get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and a means of self-defense. Fecklessness. What a great word, Dan. Chin music. Darcy, thank you very much. And we're going to get to your question. And that, my friends, is how I like to start the show. So Darcy says, here is my question for tonight's zoo. This is more of a hypothetical situation to consider rather than a question. With all of the AI fake videos, etc., we know that we are seeing on any given day may be a complete lie. We know what we are seeing on any given day may be a complete lie. So think about this. When a video comes out that is completely true, but seemingly incredible, is everyone going to dismiss it as just another AI fake? How can we know anything for sure anymore? We can't know anything for certain. It's now up in the air, and I've been worried about this for years. It's not that the technology is bad. It's how technology is abused. It's how power is abused. It's how authority is abused. And we're watching it. We're watching it happen. right? The years ago, I thought it would be it'd be an awful day if someone hacks into your computer, puts a bunch of criminal information on there. What doesn't matter what it is, it's criminal to have and own. Confidential files, child pornography, libel and slander. Someone, like there's a terror group out there, and you get associated with it because they plant stuff on your computer. And now it's artificial intelligence for the voice and for video, right? How do you know this is me? You don't. We can't know anymore because it's so realistic, and it's just going to get better. It's going to get more convincing. It's going to get more believable. The only thing that's unbelievable is what they're telling us that we have to believe. It truly is just crazy. So I got to say that, right? I've got to say that. And will everything we see be artificial intelligence, right? Now, Darcy says, is everyone going to just dismiss everything as artificial intelligence fakes? Like the video footage that was put out of Jizzy Maxwell talking to the lawyer for the Trump administration. Was that fake or real? How would you know? Right, the video I saw of the missing 2 minutes and then 50 seconds, right? It wasn't 1 minute Pam Bondi, it was almost 3, and you lied again. She lied again. She could claim she's only as good as the information that's provided to her. I don't care. You need to get it right, Pam, and you haven't got it right yet. But how can we know anything? Everything, right? The video, the missing seconds of the video was Jeffrey Epstein running out of the cell, running down a hall, right? Jumping in a Cadillac Escalade, a black one in the alley, and taking off, right? Prison escape, right? There's other fake videos of Hillary Clinton sneaking in there, and then coming out and walking away. How do you know what's real or not? I think they've been using body doubles till this point. Lookalikes. Kind of like Biden has several other Bidens that are taller, shorter. One of them's left-handed. Whoops, that's a mistake. Right? There's lots of people out there that are going, that's not the real person. It's not real. From Benjamin Netanyahu, et cetera, just fakes. Those were fakes with rubber masks. Now we've got artificial intelligence fakes. They're singing, they're dancing. Hell, they even got rock and roll. It's crazy. We can't know anything for sure anymore. And on top of it all, right, on top of that all, you're going to love this topic, but get your super chats in now. Get lined up with Jolene and Uman, and you're going to love this. Right on top of it all, one of the biggest scams of all time that's been predicted for decades is about to be used. It is the threat from beyond, folks. There is now information being released from smart guys, the trust the science guys in, what do we call it? Astrophysics or astronomy, right? There's a study suggesting an intergalactic object is closing in on planet Earth. And they're saying that it could be an alien ship. Whoa, yeah. The aliens are coming, right? While we wait for anyone to be arrested. And we keep getting promises of investigations and blue ribbon panels of idiots to talk about, right? Well, this week it's Obama and he should be prosecuted. Oh, we should be prosecuting James Comey. We should be prosecuting that person. Right, blah, 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 blah. We're getting all this investigations, blue ribbon panels, committees, right? These idiots on TV are talking. The elites may have to go to their final card, folks. The final card, because we're not buying it anymore. It's not working. It's a dog and pony show. It's kabuki theater. It's a pea and shell game, and we never get justice. So there's a character in modern times who kind of let the cat out of the bag. His name was Wernher von Braun, right? He was the leader of the NASA Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo programs. That's right, NASA, right? And then he kind of went rogue at the end of his career. He went to work for private industry. His career and his life were coming to an end, and he confided in an American scientist named Carol Rosen. And I can share with you, basically give you a synopsis of that discussion of what Wernher von Braun said. Now, very quickly, a little history on Wernher von Braun. He was a Nazi, that's right, SS officer who ran missile and rocket research at Peenemünde during World War II. And he was captured in the forests and brought to America under Operation Paperclip, where they took Nazi scientists, immigrated them to America secretly, and put them to work for the government. Wernher von Braun was one of them, and he was put in charge at NASA. So Carol Rosen was working with Wernher von Braun in the, I believe, the 70s. And he confided in her how the future is going to play out. And he said the enemy at first, the enemy against whom we've been going to build a space-based weapon system, right? You have to have the enemy, right? Because I don't know. I'm trying to put this in words. He was saying, look, we have communism. That's our enemy. And then terrorism. That'll be next. They're going to be identified, and we're going to make them our enemy. And then we're going to identify third world lunatics, nuts, crazies, right? What have we got there? Well, you got the Zelenskys and Putin and North Korea with Kim Jong-un and China, right? These are nations, we're calling them nations of concern rather than our enemies, right? And then he said we're going to have an issue with asteroids. So we go from communists to terrorists to some wars around the world here and there, and then asteroids. And we've had the asteroids, folks. And he says we're going to build space-based weapons, right? First, the Russians are going to be the next enemy, then the asteroids. And the funniest one of all, war against what Wernher von Braun called extraterrestrials, aliens. And that would be the final card. And she said, and over and over and over during the 4 years that I knew him and was giving his speeches for him, he would bring up that last card. And remember, Carol, the last card is the alien card. We're going to have to build a space-based weapons against aliens. And all of it, he said, is a lie. Now, having gone over that, we can go back to both Chin Music and Darcy T. Right? Darcy said, how can we know anything for sure? Right? Is it all going to be AI fakery? They can do that and get away with it. Not only on computers and through media and television, but they can do it literally. Literally, they can do it with holographic images. And back to Chin Music, talking about the fecklessness and cowardice of our politicians. They're going to do as they're told. If you haven't figured it out by now, and I wrestle with it constantly, this notion, right, that our government hates us, absolutely hates us. Our government will not tell us the truth, won't do its job, and to make things worse, to make matters even worse, they aren't free. They are beholden to others controlling them. Absolutely beholden, and that's why I think they're so weak. whether you think it's the CIA and the FBI, or whether you think it's Mossad and Israel, or whether you think it's China, or maybe all of the above. They're being controlled, literally. All right, folks, this is your show. It's Sunday Night Live. Pow! Right up there's the super chat button. Let's do this. Let's throw one in from the audience, and then I'm going to do some stuff I want to talk about while we round up the troops. Jolene, who do we want to throw in there? And we've got the Redneck Roughneck. And he says, apparently Billy Gates of Microsoft fame has been lobbying Congress and has gotten permission to spray mRNA on our crops. If you won't take the shot, it'll be fed to you. This mRNA absorbs through the pores in plants' leaves. This is part of the depopulation. It truly is. In my opinion, the Georgia Guidestones, by the way, said there should never be more than 500 million humans on the planet. That's the max, which would require the global elites to kill over 90% of us globally. Okay. How do you do that? Sterility, sterilizing people. So that if that happens, only the government can what? Can sanction and carry out in vitro fertilization, IV, right? Test tube babies, say it that way. And they're doing it. They started with the jabs. They're having sterility issues, fertility issues, women not being able to carry full term. They're moving to the brave new world. You combine that concept with the invasion of Europe, all the nations of Europe, all the North American continent is just being invaded by trash. By trash, I mean trash humans. I don't mean to be heartless or cruel or not think that they're worthy of life, but they are the low IQ bottom feeders who couldn't figure out the wheel, much less anything else technological or psychological or philosophical. They got nothing, right? And so they want to kill us off and replace us with them and control the amount of people who could what? Serve as a threat to them. You know, it's this breakaway civilization idea. The people in charge, they've got the technology, the power, the know-how, everything, and they can just leave. They're not going to tell us what they have. Trump has hinted, we've got technology that's will blow your mind. You don't even understand how powerful and rich we are. Yeah, well, why don't you fucking share it with us, jackass, instead of just giving us platitudes and telling us how good we've got it while we can't even pay our fucking bills or get ahead, right? We're being led by the nose. The Pied Piper is playing a song, and most of humanity just follows right along, not realizing they're getting marched right into a river and they're going to be drowned. Yep. And so this mRNA, it's all part of the Jim Jones Juice family of we're going to kill you. I don't know what to do at this point anymore. How do you get food that isn't tainted by this satanic evil bastard, a computer nerd who stole his company from other people, just like all computer nerds seem to do? They seem to have partners that they just steal things from and then they claim it's their own. Right? He becomes a billionaire by getting government contracts for his operating system. And now he's into, controlling world population. Bill Gates comes from a long line of eugenicists. That is to say, people that want everyone dead. And the powerful people do not want many of us because, well, if there's not very many of us, it's going to be really hard to overthrow them. But I think this is history playing it out one more time. They want us all dead. At the very least, they want us sterile, so only they are in charge of who is created and who isn't. In other words, They're claiming for themselves godhood, absolute godhood. All right, it is Sunday Night Live. It is the zoo. A lot of stuff is going on. What do you want to talk about? This show probably, more than likely, wouldn't exist. Except you and I, we have all been fighting like crazy to keep it alive and keep it going. In fact, Google is now going after conservative media once again, hardcore. While you and I and all the world see the blatant, in-your-face, woke, LGBTQ crap, right? DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, and Black Lives Matter, and environmental social governance, all that garbage is leaving the headlines, right? It's failed. I think it actually succeeded. It did what they wanted it to do. But while everyone thinks that woke is going away, Google and other big tech is hammering down again on top of us. There's going to be censoring, silencing, and likely preparing for the next attack on America and freedom. You've been warned, forewarned, and I hope everyone is prepared for what's coming. At some point, we're going to be on our own. I won't be able to find the people I listen to and talk to. You guys won't be able to find the people you listen and talk to. We're going to have to sit down and assess the situation that's going on in front of us, right? Not the computer screen, but the real world, what's really in front of us. And we're going to have to decide what steps need to be taken, what needs to be done. I really believe it is coming. So, get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and your plan. This, my friends, is going to get wild as we move forward with everything from the artificial intelligence to the alien card, to the invasion, to the fake government pretending that they're on our side. And the mask is coming off. It is slipping. Is it not? As we discover that there's no arrests and their lies aren't convincing us there's going to be an arrest. And this promise of wealth untold and America is so great because they've got it all. They're not going to share it with us. All of these problems, right? We've discovered that the elites are evil beyond comprehension. All of them. Well, including Jizzy Maxwell. Well, someone drug up an interview of Virginia Guiffer, one of the women who was at the time an underage minor, a child, a girl. How she was groomed and taken and sexually abused. She said Jizzy was worse than Jeffrey Epstein. They're that bad, folks. They're that nasty. And they're being exposed. Have we or have we not noticed that all of these powerful men seem to have transgender wives, right? From Barack to Chuck Schumer to George H.W. Bush and Candace Owens lately. And I'm not the world's biggest Candace fan, but hey, the lady has a lot of guts, if nothing else. She has gone after Emmanuel Macron and his husband wife, Brigitte Macron. And she has a huge response after the Macrons have decided to sue her, claiming this is Candace Owens' claim that Brigitte was born a man. It really is absolutely incredible, folks. And once I read this, I'm going to share something else with you. Facts. Facts are scary things. And I invite you, and in fact, I ask you, please, anything I write, anything I say, look it up. Don't just repeat after me. Look it up, learn for yourself. I've been told that for years and years, decades. John, listen to what I have to say, but look it up for yourself so you know and you can speak with conviction. So, Candace Owens is going after the Macrons, trying to expose them. And I'm thrilled now that regular people, we're seeing the evil in this so-called leadership, the elites, right? Which includes political elites, aristocrats and royals, the billionaires, businessmen and bankers. We're seeing them all for what they truly are. They lie, and then they lie, and they cheat, and they steal. They're scum. They're child molesters. They're thieving, murderous, warmongering liars. And that is just a short list of what they're doing, right? So I look forward in this case, right, with Candace Owens going after them. She has she has a lot to say, right? She wants what? Either give some DNA evidence or show us some childhood pictures when you were a little girl, right? She's calling them out. She's calling them out as a bunch of perverted freaks. All of the world's elites, perverted freaks. And I want to take you back to the 1920s. I'm going to take you back to post-World War I Germany, pre-World War II. The people who would become the Israelis of the country we call Israel today published pornographic materials, they published homosexual materials, and they published and pushed the concepts of transgenderism and cross-dressing, and were pushing for medical transgenderism. When Hitler came to power, he wanted to restore Germany, the fatherland, as he called it, to its once great place. And so he wanted to purge Germany of all that transgender filth, all that homosexual filth. Just get rid of all the pornography. These people never went away. They're still here. It's the same people and the same game. Whether you want to call them Israelis or Jews or elites or royals, it doesn't matter. They're all the same people, and they've always believed in this stuff. The Baphomet symbol, the demon-looking thing with goat horns that is muscular like a man but has boobs, right? That's their symbol, their God. They are that sick. And Candace is doing her best to bring it up, to expose it. In everything we do as we fight for freedom and liberty, me and you, us, Americans, and people around the world, fighting for freedom and liberty, no matter what direction we go, we run into a huge problem. Right? No matter what conspiracy theory you follow, it goes right back to these same evil people as being the cause of it. The same evil people. It's amazing to me. It really is. In any event, Candace Owens is doing her part. We're all doing our part, folks. And it's going to get crazier. I really think they are trying to kill us off now. Us meaning Americans, Canadians, Australians, New Zealanders, the British, the Scots, the Irish. The European culture is being destroyed by bringing in these third world, low IQ, literally in an IQ range, they're considered retarded. That's how far behind European and other educated, intelligent countries, including China, Japan, right? They're going to continue to unleash an enemy against us. And remember, right here, Declaration of Independence. It's in here with the U.S. Constitution. Declaration of Independence. King George of England, 1770s, was using foreigners, foreign mercenaries, and Indian tribes. He was paying them to attack the colonists. In other words, he wasn't happy with the colonists, so he wanted to kill them off, punish them, if you will. He could replace us all, is what he was thinking. Just get in there, kill everybody, subdue them, and then replace the population with better servants to the crown. We have that same attitude today. Everything points back to it. They're trying to kill us off. They're trying to sterilize us. Bill Gates, mRNA. Right? The medical COVID crap. They're trying to kill us off. They're trying to use psychological destruction to destroy children with grooming, convincing them they're not who they think they are, convincing them their gender doesn't matter, convincing them they can take puberty blockers, right? Just absolute self-destruction. And also, for all of us older folks, they want to bring in people who will just kill us directly. And here's an example of it once again. This is not an American problem, folks. This is worldwide. Right, here's the headline. Passengers spring into action after a deranged man on flight to Scotland makes a bomb threat, threatens President Trump while in Scotland. And here's his quote. I'm going to bomb the plane. Death to Trump. Aloha Akbar, right? Aloha snack bar. He does that. It's just crazy. Right? He proceeds to scream, Aloha Akbar, right? Repeatedly while raising his fist. And finally, a passenger tackles his ass. Another man jumps in and helps. I hope they put the serious hurt on this Muslim scum. Fortunately, he did not have a bomb, but that's terrorizing to people. It terrorizes me. Or not me, it terrorizes other people. I probably would have been more inclined to jump on him and tackle him to make sure if he had a bomb, he couldn't get his hand on the trigger. Anyways, the time is coming, folks, when every nation will have to protect themselves from hostile cultures, hostile religions, and hostile belief systems. Hostile culture is non-Christian Northern African. A hostile culture is gangland out of Central and South America. A hostile culture is Far East Muslim radicals. A hostile religion, the Muslim religion. Another hostile religion, Satanism. And then the belief systems, the other thing, right? We have to protect ourselves from the belief systems of these elites. They don't care about religion, folks. No, they don't care. They'll lie all day, right to your face. Lie all day. They'll make up bullshit. They'll lie to us and then stab us in the back. Right? King George was bad. We defeated him. But the bad people, they're here. They're not going away. They're showing themselves. European royals and aristocrats are evil. The Israelis and Muslims, those radicals are evil, and they're fighting each other, trying to destroy us. Intelligence services like the CIA, FBI, Mossad, MI6, Interpol, they're evil. Are they working for us? Right? Answer the question. Don't think so. Because if they were working for us, they would be arresting these elites. Now, I read over the weekend a disheartening review. Okay, a disheartening review of what's going on in this country, that there are now citizens groups, people like you and me, that are getting together and they're hunting down, trying to get a hold of child kidnapping, networking, right? Pedophilia groups. And what they're discovering, according to one report I read, and this isn't the first time I've seen this, and I'll share some personal information here in a moment. What they said is they were hunting pedophiles. Turns out that when they got to the source, the control hub in their area, that they themselves were being hunted. That the people who were really in charge in this Missouri town, Missouri city, county, geographical area, the very wealthiest people were using judges and police to get away with everything. And that they were being threatened and told, you're going to back off, you're going to stop now, or you're all going to die. Now, that's what I read. Is it real? How can I know? Could just be some really fantastic bullshit. But the question remains, why are there so many of them, and why are they not being stopped? Why is Trump stopping? Why is Dan Bongino stopping? Why is Kash Patel stopping? Why is Pam Bondi not doing a damn thing? Why aren't there any huge, right, busts? We don't need the feds. State government can catch these people. Now, I know in Polk County, Florida, Sheriff Grady Judd appears to not give a shit. He just arrests everybody that has anything to do with pedophilia. Now, in California, a couple of years before I left, in the city I was in, small city, up north, way up north, I was driving through town one day, and I've talked about this in the past, and I know that this is now called the Prepared Mind channel, and I don't know if, Jolene, man, if that's going to affect, changing the name, affect anything having to do with super chats, don't know. Anyways, the other Prepared Mind channel got erased. I replaced it with John the Prepared Mind. I just changed the name to the Prepared Mind, so we're back, as it were. Anyways, I was driving through town, and I started seeing police vehicles, right? Cop cars. And as I got closer looks, I realized they were sheriff's squad cars, and they were from different counties all around California. There was a total of 5 different counties, sheriff's deputies in town, and they were doing a sweep of the town, arresting drug dealers, or what we were told were drug dealers. Well, the next day, I talked to a contractor friend of mine, and he said, oh, yeah, they were across the street yesterday. They arrested the guy who's been dealing drugs out of that house for years. Every day, it's cars in and cars out, all day long, cars in and out dealing drugs. He goes, they came and arrested him. All these sheriffs went back to their counties. And guess what? The next day, Tom said, they're dealing drugs out of that house again. They came in and did a big bust, everyone, and then they just kept doing what they're doing. They got protected. They didn't get booked. They didn't get arrested. They didn't get arraigned. They didn't get tried. The whole fucking system is crooked as fuck, folks, even in small town. So knowing that even small towns, if you can't stop them in a small town, big cities, megatropolises like the LA area, the San Francisco Bay Area, right? Chicago, Dallas, Fort Worth, New York City, you think that they can be stopped? See, a lot of people thought, well, if we just get together, we'll track these people. Well, it's going to have to come down to violence to stop this, because they're not giving up. That's their game. It's their system. It's what these rich, sick fucks do, and they're not going to stop. In fact, well, shit, now we're going to have to go back probably 20 years. They were in the I'm going to put a city town now that was close to where I live. It was called Susanville. Susanville was running an underage brothel out of a hotel. I don't know who was running the underage brothel, but it got busted. Guess how many people got arrested that I heard about? None. I think they arrested the prostitutes. It's unfucking believable. Right? So it doesn't matter how small the town is, you can't stop them. Unless you really, literally go in and stop them. I don't know how this is going to end. I really don't know how this is going to end. What I do know, though, is they're just not doing their job, and they're not going to. I really don't think they're going to. For example, here's another one that I'm just going to call bullshit on. The CIA director, John Ratcliffe. He says that indictments and even potential prosecutions are coming for John Brennan of the CIA, James Comey of the FBI, and Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, right? Only after they arrest Hillary, Obama, Comey, Clapper, Brennan, Susan Rice, Bill Clinton, and all of the Epstein list, right? Yeah, there's not going to be anything, right? Not one arrest yet for fraud or theft, treason, child rape, nothing. I'm calling bullshit once again. So it's Pam Bondi, or it's Kash Patel, or it's Dan Bongino, or it's President Trump himself saying Obama should be prosecuted. Obama, right, should be indicted. Now we have the CIA director coming out saying, we've got potential prosecutions. Potential? Look, either there's a crime or there's not. And I'm seeing a lot of not. We're seeing no arrests. And the same names keep coming up. We know who they are, who's at the top of this. And they're not being arrested. Well, the only way to not be arrested, folks, and to not be tried is to own the police and own the judiciary. What have we seen with the judiciary in the last couple of years? Judges hiding criminals in their houses, hiding illegal aliens in their houses. Judges, politicians at lower level committing fraud and theft. Some get arrested, some don't. These are low-level people, folks. They're not going to stop. We're doing really good today, by the way. We're up to 350 people live right now, live. I want to thank everyone for being here. It's your show. It's Sunday Night Live. Super chat button's right up there. I do not know if it's working because I changed the name of the channel. Uman says, Bongino's statements are sounding more and more like Q a nonsense by the day. So Dan Bongino, for those who don't know, is former Secret Service agent. Says he worked with Hillary and she's an awful person. Started a social media program talking about how he would save the world and kick some ass and lock up the bad guys. We've all heard that before. Trump gets elected. He gets put on the FBI team. And all of a sudden, Dan's lips are shut. And he starts giving this crap about it. It takes some time to put this stuff together. It's not all that easy. Just because you don't see arrest doesn't mean things aren't happening. Right? And then over the weekend, he came up with some statements, and I will paraphrase. Oh, after you know what I know and seen what I've seen, I'll never be the same. I think that is every one of us, you and me, every time we get red-pilled. The first time we were red-pilled, every new subject, whether it's aliens or the military or the economy or money or schools or education, everything, once you wake up and realize how we're being screwed over, yeah, we'll never be the same either, Dan. Now give us the fucking names, right? Instead, it's more platitudes and promises from Dan Bongino, who's for a while there, for a number of days, after he said he was going to quit and he came back on, number of days he was absolutely silent. Now he's back giving us more hollow promises. I don't want promises. I want arrests. I don't want updates. I want arrests. I don't want to hear about a drug bust or an illegal alien. I want arrests of the elites who are committing these crimes, this treason, this unbelievable extortion, this theft and fraud, trillions of dollars leaving this country. And I think it's to fund, literally. I keep going, well, why is it Joe Biden's getting 1 million here and 5 million there? What's he going to do with 1 million, 5 million, 10 million? Yeah, it all adds up. I get that. But let's just say the Biden crime cartel gets $200 million. That's nothing compared to trillions of dollars. Trillions. 1 trillion seconds ago, folks, was 31,000 years ago, right? There's 60 seconds in a minute. 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day, 365 days in a year, 100 years in a century, 1,000 years in a millennium. 31,000 years ago was 1 trillion seconds ago. Second, right? It's a long fucking ways away. These people have stolen at least $37 trillion from us. Where did it go? What was it used for? I say breakaway civilization, and they're just blowing smoke up our ass while they're finalizing their plans. All right, Mr. Uman, I really appreciate that. Let's do one from the crowd, if we shall. I know we've got a lot of fun stuff happening. Redneck Roughneck says, endless investigations and no arrests. The demon rats would have already prosecuted and had the public hangings over with by now. Oh, definitely. You see, I don't have respect for the Democrats because of this. I believe that they are really far stupider than Republicans. So let me explain how this works. Republicans want what is happening the way it is. That's right. I think the Republicans are the smart guys in Congress. They're the smart guys in Washington, D.C. They're not going to do anything because they don't have to. Democrats will destroy the Constitution. Democrats will bring in the illegals. Democrats will launder money. Democrats will steal money. Democrats will steal elections. Democrats will commit treason. All the Republicans have to do is let them. The Democrats are the fall guys for the Republicans. The Republicans get power. They're like, we don't want to do nothing. We don't want to do nothing, right? We don't make anyone mad. We don't want to get blamed for nothing. They're do-nothing jackasses. So, yeah, the Democrats, if they were there, and look, there's as many Democrat pedophiles as Republicans or Republicans as Democrats. I have no doubt at that elite level way up here, they're all fucked in the head, mind-controlled, sex-abused, sick, demented, possessed evil people. It's my thoughts. Prove me wrong. Right? The Democrats will burn down everyone, including themselves. The Democrats are screaming now for the Epstein list. And, of course, a few QAnon types, they're out there, see, Trump is playing them. He's got it to where the Democrats are begging, so now he can arrest them all. He's not going to arrest anybody. I know it's a bit of a black pill statement. No one's getting arrested. No one of any consequence. The Republicans just have to stay back and stay weak enough that the Democrats will do all the work. Yeah, including, attacking, arresting, prosecuting, killing everyone. All the Democrats have to do is go, the Republicans have to do is go, we just don't have enough power to stop them. And no matter how far to the left Democrats run, the Republicans are just right behind them going, we're a little better. We're a little better. We're a little better. We're not as bad as them, until the Democrats have now hit rock bottom. Rock bottom. Gender transitions for kids who can't even fucking speak, going, my baby told me it wants to be the other gender. Grooming children in school, communist teachers in school, right? Homosexuals bragging about their sex life to children. They're sick. They hit the bottom, and we're sick of it. Right? They opened the floodgates, the Democrats did, and let in 20, 30 million people from other countries around the world. Flew them in with your tax dollars. Republicans get power back. Trump has power back. We've got the Congress. We've got the House and the Senate. We got Trump, the House, the Senate. Even the Supreme Court is like coming together. And Trump wants to give them amnesty. He wants to give them a sweetheart deal. Hey, if you're a good guy, just do paperwork. We'll give you a pathway to citizenship. Why? Why would we do that, right? Why would we do that? Kathleen Ralston says, even if they arrest them, how do we know it isn't all just the AI theater? And this is the other side of it, Kathleen. Yeah, maybe, and I don't know why they don't do this to placate us, to calm us down and go, we just arrested a bad guy. They could make some character up, a name we've never fucking heard. Or they could do some famous person and just do an AI arrest an AI trial, an AI conviction, and an AI execution for treason, right? Why not? This guy can go live on a beach somewhere or in some subterranean city they built, or hop on a spaceship or a teleporter to the next place that they're doing. You know, there's all this great tech they have. They don't need to do what we say anymore. They don't have to give a shit, right? We don't know, Kathleen. We don't know. Because they can just make shit up from here on out. Literally make shit up. While they have us slowly, quietly annihilated, destroyed, genetically hampered. They've let in how many hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions? Oh, you heard about the guy that stabbed 11 people in Walmart in Traverse City, Michigan. Well, the police have identified him. He's a 42-year-old. His name is Bradford James Gill or Guile. He's been arrested. Not killed. He's been arrested. You know, I saw a picture of this guy. He doesn't look like like a Bradford James Guile. He looks like Muhammad. And that's not racist. I don't give a shit. The guy does not look like he's from America. Right? And no worries, by the way. He voted 6 times for Biden and 8 times for Kamala. He will be out on bail in a day or two. Once they give him more antidepressants, I'm sure that'll fix everything. Good golly, folks. I tell you. It is Sunday Night Live. You know, just nothing but crazy, folks. Nothing but crazy is going on. Now, we want our country protected. We want our country sealed. We want the bad guys kicked out. We want the bad guys arrested. And I don't think anything's going to happen, right? Pete Hegseth, you know, the Secretary of Defense, he has been ordered to not do polygraph tests, right? Lie detector tests, trying to find out who is leaking information to the mainstream media. But somebody complained, a senior advisor in the Pentagon complained about these polygraph tests. Well, this is amazing. You're not allowed to find liars, right? They can force injections of experimental death sauce onto everybody. But how dare you ask somebody in the military intelligence communities, how dare you ask someone there to tell the truth and have a machine certify it? These people are supposedly dealing with, well, as Trump said, technology that's out of this world, amazing stuff. Weapons that you can't believe that'll just obliterate the enemy. Our military plans, right? We have all of this great stuff, but we don't need to check and make sure everyone is being nice. In other words, they want to use leaks. They need to use leaks. That's how they get stuff into the media so they can screw each other over politically, play these games. They don't want the military fixed. They want it to continue to be a problem. They want it to continue to be a problem. All right. William Hallman did a 556 super chat donation on CashApp. Thank you, William. And he asked this very simple question. Did you hear about the man who rammed the USS Midway? The answer is no, William. I have not heard about that. I took part of the weekend, Saturday, to go get some fresh air, clear my mind, and some exercise. But I did come back and I went through the news, and there is so much crazy shit going on, William. It's hard to keep up with it all. I didn't hear about that. Hopefully someone can put in the comments what happened, what the details are of this, because it all matters. It really does. Even the smallest news stories could end up having some huge ramifications. Huge ramifications. I tell you, folks, it is going to get more and more interesting this week. Trump has got to come out. He's going to have to say something to calm us down. He's going to have to give us something at some point, right? He's had Pam Bondi out there. He's had Kash Patel out there. He's had Dan Bungie. Now he's got John Ratcliffe. He's got people all across the mainstream media. He's got he's got Kristi Noem talking. He's got Tom Homan goes out. He's got, who else does he have? Sullivan. Is it Stephen? But the smart guy who looks like Squidward. We got that guy running around trying to get some traction somewhere so that the president has some kind of credibility. It's just not working. We want arrests. And it's really simple, right? I don't want a $5,000 tax cut. I mean, I guess we all want a $5,000 tax cut, but that won't satisfy me. That won't make all of this stuff go away. It's front and center, right? It's not going away. The Epstein clients, there were people that were murdered, sexually abused, raped, kidnapped, etc., exploited. We want to know who was doing that. And we want to know who was getting the information and holding it. And if it causes the entire political party system to fracture, splinter, catch fire, and burn to the ground, good. So be it. Fuck them. All of Washington, all of London, all of Rome, all of Europe, fine. The people have had enough of this shit. In Europe, they're doing the same thing. They're inviting people in to kill them from other countries. The people are finally standing up. Oh, my God. It's crazy business. Anyways, thank you, William. We'll keep an eye on this Midway thing, see if I can dig something up, see if something comes of it. Jolene, who do we want to run up next on the Prepared Mind channel? We've got, drum roll, please, Robin G with a $50 super chat donation. That's a big boy right there. And that means I get another Glenlivet 15-year single malt scotch. Robin, thank you so much. It's getting a little thirsty. Oh, good golly. Robin G, $50 super chat. Thank you. Oh, very nice. She says, earn as much income as you can right now. Collect Social Security benefits soon as eligible. Get a second or third job. File for veterans, VA, that's Veterans Administration, disability benefits that you are entitled to. If not for you, then your kids. Do not leave money on the table. May not be there later. I think this is fair warning coming from Robin. It almost sounds like Robin has been subjected to loss of benefit. Oh, yeah. There are so many different ways that this system can come down. Trump is promising, of course, that there's $150 trillion in wealth out there somewhere in America that can be unlocked and turned loose. Then just fucking do it. Don't tell us about it. Do it. Don't tell us. Don't promise. Don't tease. Do it. Shock the world. Set them back. America's awesome. Right? That sort of thing. Why play this game? I'm sick of playing fucking games. We just want it fixed. Right? Promised us Epstein. Day one, there'll be arrests. Make your head spin. It's going to happen so fast. Head spin. Took a coma. Woke up 6 months later. Still no arrests. Right? As far as money goes. The stock market, don't put any more money there than you're willing to lose. You could win big. You could do great. Stock market could be there for the next 100 years. Or 50 or 25, or maybe it's only going to last another 5. And then something happens. Who knows what? Something happens. You just don't know. Social Security Administration, the Social Security itself could just disappear, evaporate, gone. Or they could raise the age to 70 and then 75. So Robin is saying, hey, sign up immediately. So that at least you're started and they can't kick you off it, right? But yeah, as far as wealth goes, though, real wealth, right? That's silver right there. 1 ounce silver round. Silver is valuable. Hell, the money we used to spend used to be silver dollars and silver half dollars and silver quarters. A quarter was a quarter of an ounce. A silver dollar was 1 ounce of silver. And then you had a dime, which is 1/10 of an ounce, all silver. And then you had a nickel, which was nickel's a nickel, right? It's very hard metal, very difficult to mine and process. And that's why a nickel is worth half an ounce a dime, or half a dime. And then pennies were copper, another valuable metal, right? Our money used to be metal because not only was it durable and recognizable, it could be used for practical purposes. The dollar bill you have, whether it's a 1 or 100, it's just a piece of paper. It's a promise that you'll pay your taxes. That's all that dollar is. So I really do believe, this is for me, this is me personally, I believe in having food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. The most primary precious metals are brass, lead, copper, and cold blue steel. And if you've got money left over after getting all your preps in order, protecting and preserving wealth is huge, folks. Because yes, everything may not be there in 5 years or 10 years or hell, 1 year, right? If things go haywire and wonky, and a lot of people are catching on to this game that's being played. I think they really fucked up with this Federal Reserve business. That the Federal Reserve was having their 1.7, 2.1, 2.5, $3.1 billion renovation to one of their banks, putting a elevated terrace up on there, new furnishings. How do you spend $3.1 billion renovating a bank? It's just beyond belief. But wait, there's more. That bank is a private bank. Why are Americans paying for this? And then I learned over the weekend, hey, the Federal Reserve is $100 billion in debt every year. How is that possible, since they collect interest from the United States government for the money it borrowed from the Federal Reserve? They're paying, 2% annual, the federal government back to the Federal Reserve on what, 20 trillion a year. How can they be in the hole? It's unbelievable, folks. We've got trouble. It's going to get worse. They could pull the plug on the entire system. They've done it before. For example, we've had numerous stock market crashes. Right? We had a banking failure in 2019 that's not talked about. We had the crash of 2008. We had the dot-com bubble. We had 1987. And then we had 1929. But we also had currency issues. Going back to 1971 when Richard Nixon, president, took us off the gold standard, moved us to the petrodollar. That was a big change in money. Fucked the entire world up for 10 years, at least. It messed America up for about 12 years. The rest of the world followed after that. You want to go back to the 1930s when FDR, American President FDR, decided to take to offer to buy back, telling people to turn in their gold, and he would give them a 5% premium on it. Well, about 10% of the Americans did that. The rest didn't. And basically, they made it illegal to sell gold after that. A lot of people call this thing a confiscation, but it really wasn't quite a confiscation of gold. Anyways, I'll tell you what. Get everything you can, protect it. I think that's sound advice. Robin, thank you for the great advice, the great super chat, and for being here with questions, comments, thoughts, and your own wisdom. Okay, Uman, Jolene, what do we want to do next? Who is up on the Prepared Mind channel? We've got Steve Demetrius with a $2 super chat donation. And he says, CIA John Brennan. He's white and he's Muslim. Interesting. Oh, don't forget, he's also a communist. If you look at a picture of John Brennan, he looks like the consummate CIA prick. He's bald. He's always got this ugly expression on his face, like he's mad and he's going to eat you. He's just a very ugly human being. He's white and allegedly converted to Islam decades and decades and decades ago, and he's a communist. Apparently, this is well-known information. So is it surprising that he had everything he could to do with labeling Trump, the Russia-Trump collusion thing? Because they did not want Trump in there, folks. No, they wanted Hillary Clinton in for 2016. This is when John Brennan was involved in that. Way back in 2016. They didn't want Trump to win. He wasn't supposed to win. Hell, Hillary even said, we're going to win. We got this. It's in the bag. And then, whoops, America rejected her. Big time. And so, Trump has been Trump has been like a third string quarterback for the world order. Right? They've had to move forward with their plans using him. I actually think that for a while, I have a feeling that for a while, Trump actually thought he was the president in his first term. But everyone stonewalled him. Everybody stonewalled him. And he found out that town's not what it is. I think he got himself up. I think he got himself shot at. I think he got himself elected. And then he tried taking control of everything. And I think they really came down on him. Because we went from there's going to be arrests on day one, your heads are going to spin, we're going to fix this thing, to that's all a hoax. It's a hoax. There's no Epstein clients. What do you mean Jizzy Maxwell's been arrested, tried, and prosecuted and found guilty of trafficking children for sex, all on a hoax? Look, you can't arrest people and throw them in prison. Jeffrey Epstein killed himself, right? On a hoax? I'm not buying it. Thank you, Steve Demetrius. I appreciate seeing you back, buddy. Hope everybody is having a good Sunday night. It is, we got one heck of it. It's just a shit show, folks, with all this craziness. I mean, where do we start? Where do we start next? Where do we go? I've got something here that's going to make you sick. And I don't know what to make of this. The question is Israel attacking Christians and attacking Christian churches in Israel, in Gaza, and the West Bank? I have seen people screaming and yelling at Christians, pastors, priests who are in Israel getting spit at, told that they should die. And then we've seen the churches, right? They're saying the churches are getting bombed. The reports are, right, the Christians are being attacked. This is all over social media, folks. Right? Pope Leo the 14th. Pope Leo. Not Papa Leo, but Pope Leo condemned this attack on a Catholic church in Gaza. And Palestinian Christians have claimed that Jewish settlers are burning down their buildings. They burned down St. George's Church in Taba on July 7th. Now, Christian Israeli supporters say it's not true. But I've seen pictures of destroyed churches and burned churches and buildings. I've seen videos of people being attacked. I've seen interviews of Israelis, Jews, talking about how they should kill Christians as well as Muslims, that they should spit on us. It's a custom, spitting on Christians. What world do we live in, folks? What world did you think we were living in? One where everyone saw Americans as good and Christians as good, and we can all just get along. Remember those bumper stickers that said coexist, and had a picture of the crescent moon and a cross for the T, and the C was the Muslim moon, and whatever, right? It's all bullshit. It's bullshit. It just is. It is. It is such bullshit out there. And here's another fine example while I'm waiting for you guys. And it's your show. It's Sunday Night Live. Super chat button up there, but I got to get to this. It's too much. Tom Cotton, senator, has been in hot water for days and days and days now because he's trying to stop Tulsi Gabbard. Apparently, she's doing a little too good a job. She's revealing a little too much. And I don't mean leg. I mean, we're talking the bad guys. Right? She exposed Obama, Clapper, Brennan, Comey, Susan Rice. Now, because she did that, Trump has to come out and go, oh, yeah, those are the bad guys. They should be prosecuted. Meanwhile, not a fucking prosecution or arrest one. None. And now, Senator Tom Cotton says he's working with none other than Kash Patel. That's right. A senator who wants to stop Tulsi Gabbard said he's going to help investigate James Comey with Kash Patel. And Trump supporters are not buying this shit. Cotton and Cash. What is this, Tango and Cash? What the fuck is going on here? We've got a senator who's going to work with the head of the FBI to investigate a former head of the FBI that everyone knew was doing what he's done, and yet no one is trying to stop what happened. It's guaranteed, folks, to do 100% nothing forever. And I say thanks, Deep State. Thanks, Trump. Thank you, New World Order, for this lie. I'm just not buying any of it because it is all improbably, ridiculously stupid. Since when is Senator Tom Cotton qualified to lead up an FBI level massive criminal conspiracy that has all manner of crimes all the way up to treason, a capital offense? And we're going to bring in Senator Tom Cotton, who's mad that Tulsi Gabbard has done this investigation and released the information. In other words, he's in there to bury it. He's in there to bury it under 6 foot of dirt, never to see the light of day again. That's exactly what's going on, folks. They're trying to bury this. They're trying to make you think it doesn't matter. They want you to not look at this ever again. It's a hoax. Look over there, squirrel. Anyways, Jolene, who do we want to put up here on the Prepared Mind channel? Lots of fun going on. Right at 400 people live tonight. It's awesome. Hey, it's Redneck Roughneck. He's back again. He said they arrested a Texas man for charging illegal aliens $200 to lead them to sanctuary cities, and he dropped them off at ICE detention facilities. That's beautiful. I think that's great. They arrested a Texas man for charging illegal aliens $200 to lead them to sanctuary cities. So they're going to arrest him for fraud because he was able to convince them, hey, get in my van, right? We'll avoid La Migra. I'll take you to a sanctuary city. You just have to pay me $200. That paid for his day. That paid for his fuel, his tires, his insurance, everything. I don't know how many he did that to. Any extra money, give it to the government. Send it to Jerry's kids, right? Or maybe fund Hunter Biden's crack addiction a little more. But now, yeah, he actually dropped them off at Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, and he's being arrested. I wonder, Redneck Roughneck, what he's going to be charged with. Indecent law enforcement? I mean, what did he do? Did he pose as law enforcement? No, they would have never paid him or got in the van. Literally, they're probably going to charge him with fraud. Crazy, folks. This guy fights to save America. He risks his life. He uses his own property. Right? Everything, right? Meanwhile, we have people doing everything they can to destroy this country and no arrests, right? The CIA is working hand in hand with the Department of Justice, and they want to release explosive information, they say, that has evidence directly implicating Hillary Clinton in the Russia hoax. We know that. We know it. They arrest this guy here for literally driving around, picking up illegals and dropping them off at Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Fucking brilliant. You know, is that fraud? Is that any more fraud than the police setting up a fake storefront and calling criminals that have a warrant for them and say, hey, you just won $1,000. You've won $20,000 in this contest. Just come on down here, collect it. They walk in the door, they get arrested. They think they're going to go collect a prize, and the police arrest them. This guy does the same thing. Hey, you won a prize. Welcome to America. I'm going to take you to a sanctuary city. You're going to be taken care of thousands of dollars and free money and clothes and phone and house and food. They're going to charge him with fraud, but police do it in their own way, and it's fine. Right? The CIA, they've got explosive evidence. It's the opposite. Nothing will happen. Comey, Brennan, Hillary, they're all in perjury jeopardy, they say. I call bullshit. There's going to be zero arrests. And folks, I would love to come to you and go, guess what? I was wrong. They finally arrested somebody. They arrested blah, 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 and hoobity hoo, and skibbity dibbity. It's not happening. Zero arrests, and I don't think there's any arrest coming. I've lost all hope. It's all a giant shit show. They're in a club, and we ain't in it. They're in the Breakaway Civilization Club, and we're not in it. They think they're special and unique and brilliant because we trusted them enough, and they're fucking us. And you're not in their club. None of us are. None of us are. Anyways, Redneck, I'm glad this guy caught illegal aliens. That's just great news as far as I'm concerned. But these illegal aliens are horrifying. The one that just stabbed a bunch of people screaming Aloha snack bar. Oh, wait, no, he didn't say that. Oh, no. No. He's an American. He's a white-looking guy, right? Not really. Not really at all. Another illegal alien brought into our country by Joe Biden. This is another stabbing story, by the way. Tried to stab an Immigration and Customs Enforcement officer. This is a warning to all of us. As the illegals get more desperate and they get influenced and encouraged by these rabid liberals to fight back against ICE, police, Border Patrol, and yes, even other Americans. These criminal invaders are going to become more prone to violent actions to stay free and stay here. So my recommendation, thank you, Redneck Roughneck, my recommendation is to be prepared and be cautious everywhere you go. Now, where I'm at in the state of Florida, pretty safe. I have very little worry, folks. But there's a lot more to worry about than just illegals. There really are. The Defense Department is continuing to ignore all of the medical evidence against flu shots, against pharmaceuticals, against these inoculations. They're ignoring it. And they're pushing flu shots. And I say this, if you or the military servicemen think that what the flu shots that are coming out now, if you think they're not mRNA, you're risking your lives at this point. If Billy Gates is spraying it on crops, if Billy Gates is injecting cows with it and all livestock, if they're putting it in a livestock feed, if you think that they're going to stop. You're wrong. They're going to push this shit hard and as long as they can. I really believe this is a depopulation event, whether you want to call it the Georgia Guidestone or the Deagle program, Deagle.com, whatever you want to name it or call it. I believe this protocol is coming and it is happening and it is not going to stop. Maybe Elon Musk really thought he was going to save America and save humanity and save the world, or was he part of the sham? Well, what he exposed is we're all being lied to. I think somehow one of the richest men in the world wasn't in the club. He's got a black eye for a little while there, didn't he? I wonder if he's in the club now, because I haven't heard much from him. But still, this guy was that wealthy, in on all kinds of crazy secrets. But he didn't know. He thought they were actually going to arrest people. Right? He like uncovered huge amounts of fraud in Social Security and throughout the bureaucracy. And he was like, yeah, big arrests are coming. And they never came. That's right. No arrests. Washington, D.C., no arrests. I don't think they're going to stop, folks. They're pushing it. They're just not in our faces over the children. I think they've done enough damage there. I hope you're prepared, folks. I am detoxing on a probably weekly basis now. And believe it or not, I'm feeling better and stronger than I have been in a while. I did cook myself really good on Friday, but I've been able to work harder and longer, which is why I pushed myself the way I did. And get yourself detoxed, whatever that takes. Be careful, be safe, get detoxed. Jolene, who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? We're at 400 people live. This is a good show. I'm telling you, it is July the 27th. Let's rock and roll. Who's up next, Jolene? It's Shane Lewis saying if they're arrested, they'll destroy the planet. And that's the big threat, man. That is the big threat. Scorched earth in a very literal sense. They can take everyone out, Shane. Now, here's one of the ideas or concepts is Catherine Austin Fitts is the one who said that the government took $21 trillion and they've drilled down, bored down, mined out enormous cities under the earth's crust. And they have been for years and even decades stocking these cities with food and materials and raw materials and whatever they need to exist, while the surface up here where we live is decimated and destroyed. So they could go underground, subterranean, according to these theories coming from, well, Catherine Austin Fitts worked for the federal government as a bureaucrat at a very high level and had some inside information on how they operate. Now, do I know exactly? Do I believe her 100%? Of course not. Is it probable? Yes, it's probable. Is it likely? The further we get into this shit show, the more I agree everything that these people are doing is probably likely what's actually happening, because they can't be trusted. They won't tell the truth. They won't do what they say. So destroying the planet, they could go subterranean and nuke us, biological warfare us, chemical warfare. You know, that's who knows what, right? They could cook us with 5G, 6G, who knows what level of microwave radiation. They could just cook the surface. All they got to do is, well, they do a Noah's Ark. You know, take a couple dozen of every animal species on the surface, take them down below, right? Wait till all the damage is done, come back up. Hey, everything's fine. With their DNA manipulation, now, hell, they can dig up fossils, extract a little DNA, right? You got some Jurassic Park action going. You can have saber-toothed tigers, woolly mammoths, giant sloths, name it. Or they could just leave the planet altogether. They could shut it all down, fuck it all up. They could trigger some earth-changing events. Tsunamis a mile high. right? Electrical storms that just fry everything. Who knows? They could do that. Now, will they? I don't know. Do they dare? I wouldn't put it past them. Is it possible? Yes, though not likely, but it's possible that they can destroy the planet. A number of different ways, the amount of technology these freaks have, which leads to their megalomania, their complete narcissistic wet dream with all of this power that they have now. They're like gods. And it's one of the few times where I'm like, good. I hope God sees what they're doing and says, you guys really are children playing with fire. You know, at this point, almost welcome aliens coming and stomping these fucking pedophiles out. Would be nice. But, you know, that's just a dream. That they can be gathered up and destroyed. In any event, Shane, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Oh, what a show. It's good to be back, folks. I did miss the Friday, as I said, but I am so glad to be back here in the bunker with you guys. Oh, there he is right there. Look at that guy. He looks just like a regular white human. He's stabbing people. Yeah, that was nice of him, huh? All right, let's see. Russians, they're now encircling areas as they take over eastern Ukraine. Is Putin going to stop, folks? I wonder, right? Trump gave him what? Trump gave Vladimir Putin what? 50 days. This was about 10 days ago. 50 days to end the war. Is he serious? Does Putin give a fuck what Trump wants? Is Putin able to turn can Putin be done? Is Putin going to go, okay, at the end of 50 days, he's like, yeah, we're done. This is it. This is all the territory we're going to take. The people in these areas voted for Russia to be in charge of them rather than Kiev and that money laundering cesspool of homosexual Nazism. But who knows, folks? Who knows? And once again, I know it's been a few days, but Hulk Hogan passed away. He lived down here in Florida, not far from, allegedly not far from where I live. And Democrats are celebrating his death because Hulk Hogan appeared at one of the Trump rallies for the election. Right. And the Democrats, they are the cult of death, the party of death. They celebrate death. It's crazy. What is going on is absolutely crazy. I hope you are all prepared. Once again, I just want everyone to be fully prepared. Man, Jolene, who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? Northern Pike with a $5 pow super chat donation. He says, John, on the lighter side of shit hitting the fan and fact, reality, why is it a good idea to have dehydrated milk toast in the medical kit? Now, I don't know. Why is it a good idea to have dehydrated milk toast in the med kit? And the answer is, there should be an answer here. Or is this just a genuine question for me? Oh, rehydrated milk toast may be soothing when wiping if you get the runs during shit hits the fan, as bread is not healthy for us in any other way. Humor, satire. Oh, yeah, it's, folks, we're starting to see that our food isn't food anymore. People are taking cheap ice cream, crappy ice cream, and they're putting it out on the counter, out in the sun, and it's not melting, or it just kind of melts a little, but it's not ice cream where it runs all over the place and, you know, bugs and animals come and eat it because it's delicious ice cream just sitting outside. Bugs aren't eating it. Animals aren't eating it. It's not melting. It just sits there. Ice cream. Bread. It used to be in California, a lot years ago, You buy a loaf of bread, you've got one fucking week to eat that loaf before mold starts growing on it. You know, like your loaf, you're eating through the loaf, you get to the last few slices, oh man, you get mold on that, right? Moldy bread. You couldn't. I've noted here in Florida, bread lasts months. Months. Now bread lasts months? How? Right? Well, it's one of two things. Either it's not food because mold eats biological food, wheat, right? Or it's got so much preservatives in it that mold can't grow in it. Now, what is a preservative? Preservative is a poison. That's what it is. Preservative means poison. It keeps mold or bacteria or whatever from eating said product. Uman says, I've been saying that since 2000, bread is not the same. Even in restaurants that make their own bread fresh every day. Yeah, they're feeding us garbage. Literal garbage. Chemicals. Dirt. Junk. Recycled refuse. It's getting bad, folks. Really, literally. I've been catching videos on social media, the internet, of people going out to restaurants, and they're like, the food they're feeding us in restaurants isn't food. Right? It's a steak isn't a steak. It's fake steak. It looks like meat. It smells like meat, but it shreds. It comes apart. It's not really meat. I don't know what the hell's going on. But I think we're all going to be in for a rude awakening. We got a rude awakening. It's coming. Something is going to have to change. Something is going to have to give, or we're all going to be in big trouble. I tell you, I don't know. I'm beat. I'm bushed. I'm exhausted. We got a big week coming up here. I don't know what to expect. Oh, I mean, let me ask this question. Okay, so I worked in a corporate type job, an executive level type job, having to do with my skill set, my trades. And I said things publicly that were so embarrassing that people couldn't work with me. Right? I didn't commit a crime. I didn't harm anybody. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't steal property. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I didn't do the other. I wasn't accused of breaking any laws or rules or embezzling funds or anything. I didn't misappropriate, misspend. Nothing wrong. Right? But I was, oh, John, you're blah, blah, blah. You're bad. Jerome Powell, at the top of the banking world, chairman of the Federal Reserve Bank, lied to Congress. Perjury, a crime. Let us know that they have squandered massive amounts of money, which should be a crime. It looks fraudulent, completely fraudulent. Spending first it was supposed to be 1.7, then it was 2.5, now it's $3.1 billion on a renovation, not a new construction, not a giant vault to house 50,000 tons of gold to protect it for the United States. No. This guy they squandered all this fucking money. He lied about it. And the president of the United States goes to the Federal Reserve and meets with him and actually goes over paper. This guy is a criminal now. But wait a minute. I'm talking about Washington, D.C. It's full of criminals. They're used to doing deals with criminals. You and I, we say one thing wrong. You say retard or faggot, right? You get fired. Oh my God, it's too embarrassing. I can't work with a guy that said the R word. The F word. This fucking guy blows over $3 billion. And the president wants to go check things out, huh? Well, if this was 5 years ago during the first administration, I'd been like, yeah, Trump, he's a developer. He develops casinos and hotels. He knows what shit costs. He'll be able to tell us right off the gate, right out the bat, right? Right out the gate, right off the bat. If Powell is lying. I don't trust him. I don't trust Trump, folks, because we were promised and we've gotten 0 arrests. 0. Jolene, who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? Woo, and I am running out of freaking gas, folks. Man, long, hard weekend. Redneck Roughneck says, when Nikola Tesla died, the FBI went in and collected his files. He had a warehouse full of files and inventions, folks, but they only logged in 26 boxes. Well, one of the FBI agents was Trump's uncle. And shortly thereafter, the Trumps became rich, and according to a 1800s book, it will be a Baron Trump who becomes president and saves the country. There's also a book from way back then, Mr. Roughneck, where a savior type or a national hero type shows up, and his name is, drum roll, do you know, Uman? You know? Elon Musk is a character from a book in the 1800s that is supposed to save us as well. Time travel?
Okay, I gotta jump in. I thought it was Baron Trump was the name of that book from the 1800s.
Baron what?
Baron Trump.
Baron Trump.
Yeah.
Yes. There's also another book where a character named Elon Musk is a hero, savior, good guy type.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that one.
It's almost like these people have time machines and they go back and they write a bunch of shit. I don't know, man. I just don't anymore. It's fantastical.
I was just watching a video this afternoon about the conspiracy theories of all conspiracies or something like that. It was like some 3.5 hour video, and it covered all this stuff.
Oh, that's amazing. It's it's becoming painful for me because it used
absolutely.
to be, conspiracy theories, man, they used to be a joke, something we would play with. You take it out and you just kind of play with the idea and you get a couple little facts and add to it. And then you're like, you put it away. It's like a toy that never worked right. Now
it's become conspiracy analysis.
Right. It's, it was a conspiracy theory to say that Steele and Clinton and Brennan and Comey conspired to put together this paper for the Russia collusion hoax. That was a conspiracy theory, and the evidence is all laid out. It's not a conspiracy theory, right? There's just so much.
We still have 0 arrests.
Right, correct. And
you think if the evidence was this strong stacked on the other side of the aisle, that they wouldn't have already arrested half Congress at this point?
I believe they would have selectively arrested enough people to make their people happy and to scare the living shit out of the Republicans. I really do believe what I said earlier, that the Democrats are a bunch of fucking dimwits. I mean, they are some of the stupidest morons ever. The Republicans play dumb. The Democrats are dumb. I really think they're that fucking stupid.
I think you're giving the Republicans too much credit.
Relatively speaking.
Okay.
But they think we're even dumber than the Democrats, that they can just lie right to our face and we'll buy it.
Well, I know that's what they count on with their constituents.
Right. The Democrats, yes.
Yeah.
And the Republicans try it and we're like, no, that's enough of that shit.
Because, I'm encouraged to see things like here in Illinois, we got a group called Flip Chicago Red.
Mm-hmm, yes.
And it's a group of blacks that are saying these people have been lying to us and feeding us promises that they never deliver on for over 50 years. How
Yes.
long are we going to stick behind this and believe this? It's time to change. But when it comes to the Democrats, they can say whatever they want, but when they get into that voting booth, they still always pull the lever for blue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
it's
that's frustrating and infuriating.
yeah, it really is. I just, I'm up. I used to be up to here. Now it's up over, and I don't want to say I've lost hope. It's just all of my worst fears have been realized with respect to honor, decency, law and order, truth and justice, all of that. I really think that there's not a whole lot left that can be done because we've tried everything short of an armed revolution to fix this. But what the fellow said earlier, Shane, I think it was his name, is we're looking at a potential scorched earth for real if they were to be exposed. Do you think that's possible? Do you think they would do that? Like if we name the names, man.
Unfortunately, yes, because even our greatest ally has nukes pointed at us for their, what do you call it, the contingency. Why am I blanking on this?
Because it's Sunday night. We've been going at this almost 2 hours, and it's been a hell of a weekend, man. And I know that you've got a big week as well.
Yeah.
Dan Erickson, Dan the man checks in. The $5 super chat. He says, just got home, 4:45 in Seattle time. Just started watching. Dan, I recommend you, well, since you didn't ask a question here, rewind to the very beginning, start over, because I think this has been a hell of a show. A lot of we've covered a lot, but yeah, I think they would if the names came out and we actually had access to these people, like torches and pitchfork style. But
yeah, Blue Cord just jumped in and he said what I was trying to think of was the Samson fallback position with Israel.
Yes, the nation of Israel has a protocol called Samson, and if they're attacked or exposed, they will unleash their entire nuclear arsenal that they don't have on the world, including the United States of America,
its greatest ally.
Yeah. Yeah, to claim Israel as our greatest ally is it's anathema to intelligent thought. It's awful.
Yep.
They have done what has Israel done for us besides provide Uzis and desert eagles?
I was just having this conversation with somebody earlier today, and they were trying to tell me that the U.S. has an obligation to keep order and peace in the world. And I said, you know what? Fuck the rest of the world. All I care about, I'm an isolationist at this point. It's like, I don't want another single one of my tax dollars going to another nation where it's going to a corrupt politician in that nation, call it humanitarian aid that never makes it to the poor people and just stuffs the pockets and subsidizes lavish palaces and lifestyles for the leaders. And, I have no objection to, hey, keep the shipping lanes open, do the general stuff. But we got no business sticking our nose in anybody else's politics. Enough with the regime change. Enough with all this crap. Fuck Israel. Fuck Palestine. Fuck Russia. Fuck Ukraine. Fuck them all.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm there. I really think if we are to survive this, every nation is going to have to become strongly nationalist.
Yeah.
And maybe the United States breaks into either regions or every individual state becomes responsible for protecting itself, its sovereignty. All 50 states are sovereign nations. Nation and state are interchangeable terms in law. They should all become individual nation states, protect themselves by getting rid of these people that are inside of it. But all the European nations, they're going to be gone. They're going to be wiped out otherwise. And we shouldn't be spending our treasure doing anything other than protecting our own interests. And if that
Right.
means
And
working with other nations, fine.
As part of this conversation, the whole NATO thing came up and everything else. And it's like, oh, well, the United States is NATO. I said, no, the United States funds NATO, and NATO votes against the best interests of the United States in almost every single situation.
I need to back you up a little bit there. This person said the United States is NATO.
Yeah.
Is this person a business owner or just an
No.
acquaintance?
Just an acquaintance.
Okay. Was this a confrontational argument or a devil's advocate argument, or was it a legitimate discussion?
No, it was a legitimate discussion.
Where did the person get their notion or idea or concept of NATO and what it's supposed to be for?
I don't know. I was trying to draw that out and educate them about it, and take a look at it from my perspective. And it was just there was just an overwhelming thought of the U.S. owes the world this. I said, I don't owe a single tax dollar of mine to support the rest of the world.
If we owed the world, we've paid in spades.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, my thought is just the in general, I know people everywhere in the world are ignorant of reality, how things work.
And the funny thing is, though, I mean, the whole topic of the controlled media and everything came up, and they fully realized how all the media is owned by the 6 major families or companies or whatever you want to call it, and that they all parrot each other. And I said, yeah, you realize this and you think it's wrong, yet you're repeating everything that they're telling you.
Right.
There's still, even though in the people that think they're aware and awake about these things, there's still a major disconnection.
Right. I believe the illusion of opposing sides for you and me and probably this audience is that illusion's either dispelled or it's quickly evaporating in the hot sun. But for the average non-red pilled European, American, Australian, Japanese, they believe that there are 2 sides and they're heavily opposed to each other. And they believe that. And they believe everything that media channel that gives them the story they want to hear. Right. They believe everything that's said.
Did you see after I had that conversation, there was a new term I heard. Did you see that text I sent you earlier?
What was it again?
There was a story where the media was saying whether you're on the left or on the right, or if you are extreme center.
Oh, yes. An extreme centrist.
If you are an extreme centrist now, oh my God, you can't make this stuff up.
The extreme centrist is so extreme they can resist the right and the left because they're so extreme in being in this. They're so violently powerful to hold that middle ground and not make a real decision. They're extremists. Yeah. Everything is an extreme sport. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I laughed.
They didn't say extreme left and extreme right and extreme center. They said the left, the right, or the extreme center. I'm just waiting to see that come up in the next week on across the board on all media.
It could, if it becomes a talking point, it would just, I think a lot of these things, and this is silly, I think a lot of the crap they put out there is to see if we're awake, if we're paying attention, if we're truly as retarded as they want us to be, by coming up with an expression, extreme centrist, when it used, and the centrists are always the ones who want to play to both sides and be nice and get along with everyone. Now they're so powerful, they're holding back and they're holding that center ground with their extreme muscles and extreme inability to make a decision.
Yeah, well,
it's mind-bending, man.
Unfortunately, I am of the opinion at this point that 80% of the world is retarded. And that might be a conservative estimate.
90-10. I don't know. I don't know what the 10% of the world think, act, plan, and intelligently make decisions that causes the other 90% to be able to tag along for the ride with them. That's a belief of mine, but I haven't visited that thought in over 10 years, man. But that used to be the number.
We may be revisiting that several times this week, so be prepared.
I used to think I was, this is when I was developing property as a general contractor. I'm like, okay, look, who's actually making things happen out here? Who's planning ahead? Who's doing this? Who can make, if you look at a city, the entire city, all the water that gets rained off and gets drained goes into drains and goes to one place. Sewer pipes, freshwater pipes, electricity, streets, highways. Someone managed it. Can you imagine New York City? Every building is multiple stories with plumbing throughout. Who brings in all that water? Where does it come from? How does it get pressurized right? Someone, there's a very small percentage of the population that's responsible. This is just the mechanical side, right? This making shit work. And then there's all the raw materials and supply chains. And then there's all the food and everything else. And then you got jackasses like Bill Gates jumping in with both feet, trying to fucking kill us. They do weather modification. I remember early on, weather modification was, how do we get the clouds to rain more? So we make sure we got enough rain so our crops are healthy and produce food. That's what I remember it being sold as in the 70s. Back when I was a kid, seeding clouds. And now it's, well, how do we fucking kill everyone with it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a mess. In any event, Mr. Uman, what I need to
we're rolling the last few minutes. I'll let you finish up here. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Oh, good golly. It's always great having Mr. Uman jump on and help figure out what the hell is going on. I don't even know what to say anymore. Good God. The Supreme Court is a lost cause at this point, in my opinion. It truly is. The Democrat Party is a complete party of traitors. The Republican Party is the party of do nothing. They'll wait till the traitors are back in power and then complain about it. The executive, law enforcement won't do its job. It is now up to you, America, to protect yourself, inform yourself, make the best decisions for yourselves, find others who are like us, join together, form networks, however tight or loose as need to be, and just buckle down. We're going to be visited with some of the wildest shit, as if we haven't seen enough already, folks. Chance favors the prepared mind. I want to thank everyone for participating, hanging out. Be sure and thumbs up. Be sure and like it. Be sure and share the internet address with everyone you can. We had great turnout as usual. And again, the name of the channel is now The Prepared Mind. I took the word John off the beginning of that, and we're going right back to just The Prepared Mind. We're back, and we need to, I would love to get back to our 80,000 subscribers, but YouTube, they managed to just trim us like a tree. In any event, folks, God bless you all. Semper Fi means always faithful. And indeed, get prepared, because chance does favor the prepared mind.